was it like visiting your old town again? I mean, you go there all the time. I guess there's something that crazy about it.
Yeah, Sac feels like being back in the Shire. There's slow pace of life. If you work in Sac and you're the receptionist at a dentist office, you're pretty much a big fish in the small pond that is the outskirts of Sacramento where I grew up.
Yeah.
And therefore, when I'm back there, I feel like a king. And I feel like I can put my feet up because I've already done enough to be successful in Sacramento.
Yeah.
So the stress disappears. You know, like your neighbor is just a guy with some overalls and a dip in his mouth, just like, oh, boy, Danny Mullen, welcome back home. Your parents sure do make a fuss about you when you're gone.
Huh.
And it's like, you know, that's different than like a fucking Armenian real estate agent driving a Maserati who lives next to you in LA.
Yeah. And the thing about I think Sac, do you want me to, I kind of want to do an improv where I want to be a guy that you grew up with that talks about what you're up to now in LA compared to what he's up to. Do you want me to be a little bit of a hater, or do you want me to be like a guy that loves you? Because I kind of want to be like, I feel like someone.
I don't know. It's your improv, dude. Make the call.
All right, dude. Well, I feel
I'm
like
a little
it's
stoned.
Like, all right. It's like, yeah, that Danny Mullen, he's a good guy, man. Yeah, you see that? He's kind of a rock star now, man. Got a hot girl and stuff, and he's doing them videos and stuff. But you know, he does some crazy stuff.
Am I just like a random dude?
Yeah, you're just a random dude.
Yeah, he can do some crazy stuff.
He does some crazy stuff, man. I think he just goes around dropping M-bombs, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's what he does.
All right, so this whole role play was designed to accuse me of dropping
I'm
M-bombs.
sorry, dude. That's stupid, dude. I'm sorry. Cut that, Austin.
It's okay. So, yeah, what else? We met a guy at the dispensary who used to be one of my roommates. The manager of the dispensary we went to before we left town in San Francisco was once my roommate in the 74 Eastwood Drive barracks I lived in San Francisco from age 25 to 26, where gangbangs would happen nightly. There was all sorts of debauchery and male penis showing. And him and I almost came to blows over his habit of waking up at 9 a.m. and freestyle rapping really loud after I just worked till 3 a.m. in a restaurant.
That sounds terrifyingly annoying. Were the raps decent?
I don't know, something like this. It was like, I was going to try to do a rap summarizing the entire situation of 74 Eastwood Drive. I'm going to try it now.
Oh, wow.
It was like, yo, I'm Greg. And I don't have a third leg. I have a small cock. I've got my hands covered in. This is going not good. I'm not. I don't know what I can't do it. I can't rap. Right. So it was better than that is how he would rap. But I would just get so fed up with these guys waking me up that I would go over there. And when I went over there one morning to look in and be like, stop fucking rapping, I realized they had a squatter in there. They moved in a squatter to subsidize their rent without telling anybody in the house. And he was a dude who slept in a suitcase on the floor. Sleeping bag on the floor, not a suitcase, a sleeping bag on the floor. And we tolerated it somehow as a house, which is unbelievably spineless of us to just be like, okay, yeah, I'm down to share our bathroom and utilities with a random guy who's not paying for or taking care of anything.
Did he say he was down and out or anything like that?
No, not really. I don't know. We just didn't want to do with it because they were scary. They like smoked weed and they were kind of ghetto. But one of them is now a really nice guy. He's put on a little bit of weight, honestly.
Why would you mention that?
Oh yeah, Leo, you didn't notice that?
Well, I mean, yeah, he put on a little weight. But my question, the first question I asked Danny when I met this guy is that, was he the guy that you ejaculated on?
No, he was not. But also this guy, Greg, I want to come back from saying that he put on a little weight by saying that he's the general manager of a dispensary and he now has a 2-bedroom apartment in the Fillmore district, which he's come a long way since he was bringing in squatters to help pay his $700 a month rent. He couldn't afford like $350 a month in rent. They had to bring in another guy because him and his brother were already in there together, and then another guy. $350 was too much in rent.
Yeah.
Now he's got a 2-bedroom though.
I've had to tell people that they can't live on my couch for more than a week. I give people, if they have a guy come in like that, like a roommate or something, and you get a new roommate. I had Jacob for a while, then now I have a new guy, Andrew, and both of them have had some guests come by and maybe wear out their welcome a little bit. Then I get like peshy around the house. You got to get a little peshy around the
Yeah,
house. Be really annoyed. Like, oh, guys, come on, man. No smoking in the house, dude. All right, thanks. Hey, no smoking in the house. You start saying stuff like that. And then like, hey, man, you wake them up a little early. Maybe you're like dressed, ready to go to work, and you knock on their door. Like, hey, guys, please don't leave like plates out like in front of the TV. And like, don't clean them out before like the night before, because the house smells a little bit. All right, guys. So make sure you clean up. All right, guys. Cool. So then I start being annoying as shit like that until I finally go, hey, listen, man. We're paying a lot of rent here, and I can't really have you kind of living here more than a week, man. I'm sorry. So if you want to like go get a hotel, I know some good deals. If you go in the Valley, you probably find something for $80-$90, man. So. Hey, yeah, man. So, if it's cool, man, I make some excuse. Like, oh, I got some family coming to his house. So if it's cool, maybe like tomorrow or something, you can try to find a hotel. And you get them out. So if you have this problem.
How long has somebody stayed over at your place recently?
We had like a 2-weeker, dude. That was pretty,
what
not recently.
The fuck?
Like 2 years, like a year ago. Judge, one of his boys, he was cool though. But he stayed like a couple weeks like on the couch, dude. It was kind of annoying. And then I made him go in his room the second week. I was like, well, now I'd rather prefer you sleep in Andrew's room, and Andrew was down. He's like, oh, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, I got peshy. On a kid when I lived with Noah back at our first house in LA where this podcast used to be broadcast out of. He looked like Steve Aoki, the guy.
Yeah.
An Asian dude with long hair. And he would just be like passed out on the couch at noon all the time. And I think it was only like 2 or 3 days, but then he said he was going to extend his trip, and I kind of went peshy on him in front of like all the other guys, and I was like, dude, how long are you going to be here? You got to leave. Wow. And it was kind of mean, and I remember the kid looked startled.
No, I mean, that's okay, man. I saw one time I had to go to Jack Doherty's house. He's a big OnlyFans manager now, and he's killing it, whatever. He makes a lot of money, I hear, from Jacob. But there were 3 black dudes just squatting in his Beverly Hills mansion, dude. And one of the roommates just brought him over, and they had stayed like 3 weeks, dude. And then they brought me over to be kind of security, just in case they wanted to punch, just try to be force their way into staying in the Beverly Hills mansion. But Doherty went off on him, and they just left. It was pretty nuts. Said he was 18.
You made that story sound like, the way you described that, it sounds like 3 random black dudes from Compton just found an empty bedroom and set up shop in there.
Well, a guy brought him over. They stayed 3 weeks, dude. I mean, that's pretty gnarly, no?
Were they social media people?
Yeah, kind of. Just buddies of the guy, not really heavy social media people. Yeah, it was pretty wild. But no, man, he got rid of it though, man. I'll be honest. But I was there just as a muscle. I felt like a muscle, like an Italian mobster's son's fucking bodyguard that just wanted to just make sure that he doesn't get his ass beat. But it was funny.
Yeah, Jack Doherty. He made an appearance in a video of ours called Our Canceled Comedy Show. A really, really underrated bit, I think, where I'm presenting fake NFTs to TikTokers I made. It was ahead of its time, too. It was right at the start of the NFT craze. And Jack Doherty had a $25,000 a month mansion in the flats of Beverly Hills.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful home that I think his neighbor finally, or his landlord finally had enough and kicked his ass out.
Yeah.
But now he's making probably $100,000 a month.
Oh no.
Pimping out 18-year-old chicks on OnlyFans.
Yeah. He himself
in a good way. I like Jack Doherty.
Yeah, and he's only 19, I think, himself. So I think he's got an OnlyFans too. Listen, and his parents.
He has an OnlyFans?
Yeah.
Does he show his cock?
He pulls his cock
Look
out.
it up. Look it up.
He says, dude, it kind of suggests that he might, but I don't think he does.
Pull up.
I think Jacob would have already sent me a picture of it had he done it, dude. He knows what's up.